Pablo Escobar, the man who once built one of the largest drug empires in modern history, a man who generated billions in revenue week after week, a criminal responsible for violence, chaos, and countless lives lost. At one point, he became one of the most wanted fugitives in the world. And yet that's not even the most interesting part, because what I'm about to say is not praise, it's not admiration, it's analysis, an uncomfortable insight into something deeper. The real question is this: how does a man who starts as nobody, just another face in the streets of Medellin, build something that powerful? How does he go from obscurity to a name that carries weight across an entire nation? How do you create fear so strong that it travels faster than your actual presence? How do you build influence to the point where even the system designed to stop you begins to hesitate? And think about this. How does someone like that operate for so long in a world full of intelligence agencies, surveillance and enforcement? Are they blind? Or is something else happening beneath the surface? Because here's the truth most people avoid. Power doesn't always look like force. Sometimes it looks like understanding. Understanding people, understanding systems, understanding pressure. So no, this isn't about glorifying a criminal. It's about asking a dangerous question. What did he understand that others didn't? Because if you can answer that, you're no longer just looking at history. You're looking at how power actually works. You can call him a criminal, yes, but behind that was a businessman who understood the art of perception and operated like a strategist, studying how power, influence, and systems truly work. There's a saying that a drug dealer can teach you more about business than a business professor ever could. So yes, that's why understanding this man is important, to understand how business, power, and systems really operate. On this video, I'm just going to give a brief insight into how Pablo Escobar built an empire so powerful it generated billions of dollars and took CIA agents years to take it down. Now, there are important key points you need to understand that made this man extremely exceptional, a man of caliber, and I'm going to break them down for you. Number one, perspicacity. He had the ability to see opportunities before anyone else. While others saw danger, he saw profit. He entered the drug trade early and scaled it fast. Number two, perception. He didn't just make money. He built a reputation of fear. People believed he was unstoppable. And in many cases, that belief was more powerful than reality. When people fear you, you don't need to move every time. The fear moves for you. Number three, monopolizing the business. He eliminated competition. People who tried to outcompete, outsmart, or get on his way were either arrested or killed. He tried to control it. He monopolized the drug routes and supply chains. At his peak, it is estimated he controlled up to 80% of the global cocaine trade. Money started flowing in so fast that even warehouses couldn't hold it. Reports say millions were lost to decay and rats because there was simply too much cash to store properly. Number five, networking. He didn't just build an empire, he built loyalty. He built houses, gave money, and helped poor communities in Colombia. Because of that, many people protected him instead of turning against him. Even some law enforcement were corrupted or influenced, and that gave him time, space, and protection to grow his empire. This is what made him dangerous. The CIA and DEA weren't just fighting a man, they were fighting uncertainty. They didn't know who was clean and who was compromised. Informants couldn't be trusted. Operations kept collapsing before they even started. In Colombia, corruption wasn't random anymore. It was structural. Some officers were paid, some were pressured, some were simply afraid. So every move against him had a leak inside it. And that's the key point. You cannot easily destroy what has already blended into the system you are using to catch it. The fall of the empire. Every empire has the same stages: rise, peak, and collapse. Escobar's empire didn't just fall from outside pressure, it collapsed from within. The CIA and Colombian forces found their real advantage. Not the walls outside his empire, but the cracks inside it. They started turning people close to him, friends, associates, people inside his circle. Fear, money, and survival became stronger than loyalty. And slowly, information began to leak from the inside out. His own system became the entry point for his enemies. That was the real attack vector. And in the end, Pablo Escobar was compromised by the very network that once protected him. By this stage, the net had fully closed in. Surveillance tightened everywhere. Every move he made was being watched. Every call, every meeting, every movement. His circle became smaller and smaller. Not because he was weak, but because trust was gone. He was now isolated inside his own empire. And then came the final moment. He made a phone call to his son. Just a few minutes, but enough time for signals to be traced. Enough time for his location to be exposed. The system finally had him. Forces moved in fast. He tried to escape through the rooftops, running across buildings, trying to disappear into the city he once controlled. But there was no escape left. He was cornered, and that was the end. Pablo Escobar was killed on that rooftop, not in power, but in pressure closing in from every side. Now, this man lived a life that is studied worldwide, not because it should be followed, but because it reveals how systems, power, and perception actually work. Many people believe the world runs purely on morality and rules, but in reality, it also runs on strategy, timing, influence, and structure. Those who only follow rules often never see beyond the surface of how systems operate, and those who study systems understand how outcomes are really shaped. So the real lesson is not admiration, it is awareness. Understanding how power forms, how it grows, and how it eventually collapses under its own weight.